Breaking news. Okay, no, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. Okay, well, yeah, there we go. That's our new. I guess we should do introductions before. So, welcome to the Blip podcast. This is the past episode of the Blip pod. My name is Nolan. I'm one of the co-hosts.
And my name is Joey. I'm the other.
We have two co-hosts, co-managers, assistant to the co-manager. Good God. I am legitimately nervous talking into a microphone with nobody listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I say let's just start over.
No. We gotta keep this going. Gotta keep this going. We don't have a theme song yet, so we will be singing to you every time until we get one. We have someone potentially doing that.
Yeah, I'll take singing lessons, so it could at least be.
Thank you. We'll have
decent.
all boys choir serenade us at the beginning of the episode. So, welcome to the Blip Pod. This is the pilot episode of the Blip Pod. We are starting this podcast to talk about movies and comics and TV news. Basically, we are huge nerds and decided that as opposed to just sitting around and talking about it all day, we'd sit around and record it all day. So that's...
We can listen to it after, too.
We can listen to it after, too. We can listen to... We'll forget what we've said. And we'll re-listen to it later.
Especially, within a year after movies come out and see new movies, we could go back and see our old opinions.
Oh yeah,
see if they change at all.
Our speculations. Mm-hmm. So basically, a little bit about us. As I said, my name is Nolan. I am a film student. Not a weird film student, I assure you. A normal film student. Studying live action production.
Yeah, we're both in the same classes, both second years here.
Woo!
All the same classes, even our volleyball class we take together. It's not just our film classes.
And two best friends.
Yeah, so we definitely spend a lot of time together.
So we've decided to turn that into something that you will have to listen to, or don't have to listen to, but we hope you will actually listen to it. So for our first podcast, we are going to be going over our top... It's award season, so we're going to kind of go over our little bit of our favorite movies from 2019, which I know has been done to the ground on YouTube and anything, but we're going to just go over that quickly, and then we shall start talking about our most anticipated movies of 2020.
Yeah, and also for the 2019, we put it into 4 different categories. We have most fun, most enjoyable, best made movie, and best animated movie.
Yes, and not gonna lie to you, we watch a lot of popular movies as opposed to some of the niche movies. So if you get frustrated that this independent movie that you saw isn't on our list, it's probably because we haven't seen it, and this is just our opinion based on the movies we've seen. So, we will be giving a lot of credit to comic book movies.
Yeah, that's why if you didn't see the title, it is called the Blip Pod.
The Blip.
So there'll be a lot of Star Wars and Marvel, but we will throw in other movies here and there.
No.
If we see a movie we like, we'll definitely talk about it.
I think especially last year and this year, there are a lot of movies that are just kind of out of the blue I didn't expect liking, and then it was just like, hey, I actually found that incredibly enjoyable. Speaking of which, let us go into our 2019 awards movie segment. I'm a 50s, 1950s anchor.
Gotta love it.
Okay, so, first off, most enjoyable. I have a feeling we are on the same page as this.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question to this one. Most enjoyable is 100% Avengers Endgame.
Yep, well, I second you on that one.
There's not really much we'd have to explain. That's been really our entire lives led up to this moment, and it definitely paid off waiting, and we had all the fan service we needed.
It was also, I think the fan service was done well.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like, both of us are huge comic books and Star Wars nerds, and the difference between Endgame and Rise of Skywalker, I feel, is that Endgame fan service was...
They earned it.
They earned it, and it was written into the plot well. Whereas some of the Rise of Skywalker stuff was they felt like they needed to do something, so it would just cut away to this, that fan service would happen, and then they'd cut back to the normal story. So I think Endgame balanced everything very well.
Well, the biggest thing about that was that Endgame was planning that fan service from the first Iron Man.
Yeah, bingo.
While Rise of Skywalker had to literally just throw it in because they were not on the same page as their past movies.
Yeah.
So the fact that everything was planned out from the first movie, and then having 22 movies to deliver all that fan service is what made it work out so well. So that's why there's no movie that can be more enjoyable with fan service than Avengers Endgame.
It's in its own little category.
Yeah.
But, that's kind of a given. It is strange to think it's been since 2008. Like, I watched that first movie as a kid, and you're just like, God, holy Moses.
Well, also, like, you don't think about that stuff when you're, like, 8 years old watching it, and then you're rewatching it 100 more times now, and you're just like, I see all the stuff they did. So, it's definitely very cool.
Okay, our next category. Actually, going back. Sorry, last thing. I think that was the best audience experience I've had in the movie.
Oh, no. Yes, no. I definitely agree with you, because I felt like I was at the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I never been at a theater that was literally screaming top of their lungs with every moment, especially when Cap wielded Mjolnir. That was I cried tears of joy. Everyone was going nuts. I literally jumped out of my seat and like gave a fist bump like in the air. I felt bad for whoever sitting behind me, but like that was definitely the coolest moment ever. But,
you know what I just realized? I keep on nodding on a podcast. like a dumbass.
Yeah, but we can see each other.
Yeah, I know, we can see each other. But they're like, where's he gone? And I'm sitting here going, in an audio media. Okay, second topic, and these are brief. This is not a comprehensive list of all the movies of 2019 because, as I've said earlier, every YouTuber has done it, every podcast has done it, everything has done it. The second thing we have is most fun movie. What movie might not be the most well-made, but it was the most fun movie? I have Shazam, and I know you have differently.
Yeah, and I have Spider-Man Far From Home.
Yes.
And I know both of us enjoyed both of those movies.
Yeah.
And they both have that fun aspect of, well, they're both, even though Shazam, like, the character Shazam is actually a kid in an adult's body, so, and Spider-Man's a kid too, so it really plays off the aspect of being teenagers who have superhuman strength or powers, and so really putting two of those worlds together, it definitely both make fun, enjoyable experiences to watch within that aspect.
I think for me, the reason that Shazam got a little over Spider-Man, in my mind, is it was something basically new. We never had a Shazam movie before. It was, and don't get me wrong, I love the Spider-Man movies. As you know, I frequently go, whoa, he stole that guy's pizzas whenever I see anybody with any pizza at all. So that's not the problem. But I think that the Shazam movie just had that new kind of fun where it was like he was training and it was basically like if you were a kid and you got all these superpowers, what would you realistically do? Probably not fight crime at first. You'd probably, screw around with your friends for a while, and that's all I was like.
Make some money on the street for shooting lightning out of your hands. No, I definitely do agree on you with that. But the reason why I have Spider-Man is because there was a wider variety of funny characters, I felt like, in Spider-Man than Shazam. It was basically, Shazam was definitely he stole the show. And then just his stepbrother, too. They were pretty much the only two really making me laugh throughout the movie, while Spider-Man, you had basically the entire cast did something funny at least one point in the movie. So that's why I definitely thought Spider-Man was a little bit funnier and more fun to watch than Shazam.
Yeah, that makes sense. It is a really good cast. Like, they lucked out to get a bunch of younger actors that are all really funny and very good. That's something else.
Especially the opening scene when they start off with the news thing for the Blip.
The Blip, exactly. Free advertising for us. The MCU has just been 22 movies setting up this dumb podcast.
But they're both definitely very enjoyable movies, and I'll rewatch them both at least 100 times.
Oh, bingo. Okay. Next category, our final live action category, and this is where we go into the not comic book movie ones, is the movie we saw this year we think is the most well made. Now these, again, disclaimer, we have not seen all movies. There are a lot of independent movies we have not seen. We have had a lot of stuff to do, so we missed a lot of movies. I've heard good things about what's the Adam Sandler movie?
Oh, you're talking about
Uncut Gems?
Yeah, Uncut Gems. And also 1917.
Yeah.
Especially as a cinematographer, they definitely stole the show for that one.
Yeah. But we've missed them, so they're not on the list. They're probably great.
Yeah, and there is other reasons for the one I picked why I think I would have it over 1917.
Same with mine.
But that's not like technical like camera stuff as much, but we'll...
More story.
Yeah, we'll get into it now.
Okay. Do you want to go first on your most well-made?
Yeah, so my best made movie is Knives Out.
Okay. I agree with you. So, like, my movie... Okay, so I chose Jojo Rabbit, which I don't know if... A lot of people have heard of it. It's the... Knives Out is the murder mystery with Daniel Craig and Chris Evans. Jojo Rabbit is the kind of satire about the Holocaust. And you know this, I love Knives Out.
Mm-hmm.
We've both seen it in theaters multiple times.
Yep.
It is a great movie. And it is original, it's well written. But for me, I think Jojo Rabbit just won out, whereas Jojo Rabbit had a little more kind of heart into it.
Well, it definitely did I thought the movie did a great job putting comedy into... Well, especially because of... Watiti, because...
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's like all his movies. He always finds a way to put comedy into something that might not seem funny and make it quirky, because it's the Holocaust. It's very sad, depressing time, and they have a bunch of Holocaust movies that all just make you cry.
Yeah.
But this one put a different spin on it, and it gave the audience a chance to be more enjoyable in the movie and have a good time. But the problem was we both went into it. Like,
my God, this is a spoiler.
Yeah,
you guys...
well, the advertisement,
yeah,
like made it really seem like it was gonna be like 100% funny, just making fun of Hitler and Nazis. Yeah. So we went into it thinking we're gonna just straight up laugh the entire movie.
We went into a Holocaust movie going, "This will be funny."
Yeah, so we like it started off enjoyable and funny, and then as it went on, you realize it did bring more of the Holocaust aspect into it, and there were moments that did make us like tear up and cry in points, which we were not expecting, which we should have expected.
We should have expected. We went into a Holocaust movie.
Especially there was times where we thought the filmmakers made mistakes with like framing and all that, but at the end when you like they were actually foreshadowing stuff, at the end you realized that was the most genius thing they could have ever done
for the thing.
Like, we're not going to spoil what they did in case people didn't see it yet, but definitely took me by surprise, and I really tipped my hat off to
everyone
who did that, because I thought that was a very great thing they did.
I think that's specifically like the shot composition and foreshadowing, I think is what this makes well made for me. But Knives Out... I know you probably have a lot to say on this one, so I'll let you take this. But that is well made for a bunch of very good different reasons.
Yeah, so I put Knives Out as mine because I know you are too. We're both big fans of the murder mystery movies. Yeah. And I just like the aspect of, especially the ones where it's just like a group of people in a house and then a murder takes place right then and there. And they got to figure out which one in the group did it. So that's why when I saw it, the trailer for this, I'm like, oh, it's kind of that aspect, like those kind of movies I like. So I didn't think it was going to be like an outstanding movie, but I thought I was going into it like, oh, this is probably going to be pretty good. But then after I saw it, especially not like halfway through it, I think, I was kind of confused because they already showed the death and who done it.
They explained the mystery of a murder mystery.
They usually like... That's why it seems so unique and so different, because usually you wait until... Well, usually they make you think who the murderer is like 3/4 the way through the movie, and then right at the end, then you figure out there was a twist and it's not actually done with someone else. That's how most of them go. But this one, it literally showed you the entire, like what was it, 20 minutes of the movie, how the murder went down and who did it. Yeah. And that's why I'm just like, well, where do they go from now? Like, that's the weirdest thing ever. And then it's basically just her going through it, trying to hide it the entire time until it did reveal the twist at the end, but it wasn't something that, like a typical twist that you'd expect, you know?
I think that movie is amazingly written, and I just love, and you know I do this a lot, when I just love Daniel Craig sitting there, but like, I have eliminated no suspects, and the whole time he's like, has this like weird southern accent, but then they're like, did you know the police chief? And he's like, my father knew the police chief, but the police chief is in Boston, which means this guy grew up in Boston and somehow ended with a southern accent.
Yeah,
that's not bad. It just occurred to me the other day. I was like, so I grew up in and around Boston, and sometimes when I get angry, you can hear I start talking like get the little bit of Boston accent. So I thought it was funny that he was like, all the stuff where he said he's like, I have eliminated no suspects. I'm like, I wish people lived like that in Boston.
But the thing is, though, he could have still grown up in the South. His father could just known him from back in the day, but still,
he's great.
I think the accent really does play off very well.
Good.
And you just never want to stop hearing him talk. You just want to listen to an audiobook with him talking like that. So.
Daniel Craig, what is it? Benoit Blanc?
Yeah.
Benoit Blanc ASMR, where he leans in, he's like, there's been a murder.
Yeah, if anyone ever...
leaning into the microphone right now.
If anybody ever comes up with like a good book to write about a murder mystery, we'll call up Daniel Craig.
Yeah, we'll call up Daniel. We'll call up Daniel Craig. You're like, we're from the Blip Pod. You've probably heard of us. And he'll go, my golly, I have, or whatever his real British accent is. Mr. James Bond, and we want to make an ASMR audiobook with you as Benoit Blanc.
Yeah, but also another thing, what I really like in that movie is the use of color. Especially, there was always, like, ever since, like, the beginning, when they're doing the interviews, there was, like, a blue tint to all the lighting. And I was like, what are they doing here? But at the same time, like, I like it a lot. Like, I think it really sets a good tone for the movie.
Also made it, whenever someone's lying, there's a little bit of a blue tint. It makes you feel really unnatural. You're like, something's wrong. Which I thought played into the movie very well.
Well, especially when you saw, it was during that scene, and they just jump into everybody's interviews, and you seen everybody else had a different perspective. So
that was so good.
And also the framing for that, the shot with the chair and all it showed that there, but it really didn't show, like, the perfect composition of it until the ending when Blanc finally figured it out, and then he sits there, and then it's the perfect composition. Yeah. And it's just like the slow.
I don't even know, like zoom or dolly in.
I think it was a dolly, and I don't think it was a zoom.
Yeah,
but
no.
I just think that was spot on, and that really made me like while we were filming, I did the chef's kiss. Perfect.
The chef's kiss. Okay. Okay, so for our next topic, we've got best animated movie this year. The one animated movie the one animated movie that I wanted to see that I never got around to was The Missing Link, and that's winning a bunch of stuff. You know the one I'm talking about? The Hugh Jackman one where he finds Bigfoot.
Oh, yes, I know. Apparently that won a couple Golden Globes, I think, or at least one.
And I think it's like up for the Oscar.
It might be, because when I saw the trailer, I'm like, that seems like a pretty fun movie, but I didn't think it was gonna be anything spectacular. No. But then I see all the awards it's supposed to be winning, and I'm like, really? Especially over, like, what we put down for our animated movies, it beat those movies, both of them for the awards, and I was so surprised. I'm like, really?
I was especially okay. So we didn't see that one. Full disclaimer, just keep that in mind.
That's why like. Yeah. Seeing that makes me think, like, I probably should watch this sometime.
We should probably get around to watching that, too. So for my best animated movie of this year, I did Toy Story 4. For a couple reasons. First of all, Pixar, for the most part, always hits it out of the park. Mm-hmm. I understand Cars 2 was...
Well, they also took a different route. Bad. They took a different route.
Yeah.
I mean... It was good in some ways, but it was bad in their typical, like, what you expect out of Pixar.
Yeah.
But, no, there was times where during watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of fun.
Yeah. But I think Toy Story 4 was kind of a return to form. And they always do good in the Toy Story movies. And people were saying that, it looks like a cash grab at the beginning because it's the fourth of their most popular franchise. 3 technically ended it, I guess.
Well, this is my opinion. So I know, like, when they heard the release of this, many fans were pissed because they're like, Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending to the trilogy, and they ended off with Andy going to college and giving away.
It was sad,
but it was definitely sad. Took a big emotional punch to the gut. But when I thought the same thing when I heard the release of 4, I'm like, why did they do this? Because, like, I thought 3 was perfect. No. But then after watching the movie, I'm like, I realized why they did this. Because your main character was never Andy. The main character was Woody.
Bingo.
And Andy's story was done within those 3.
Yep.
But Woody's story was not done. Like.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Because once Andy was gone, you still have what happens to Woody. Like, now that he's gone, like, and he's put in a different situation where he's not the favorite toy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, and that's his entire life. Or, well, his toy life, whatever.
Which is, you think about toy life, and that is,
like, you never, like, he still has, he was always the favorite toy, in charge of everyone, and the only thing he wanted to do with his life was to make a kid happy.
Yeah.
And that was his entire job. But we seen that throughout the 3 movies, and there was never really that full arc of him.
Yeah.
And that 4th one gave that 4th arc, because he finally found there's what he wanted, there was more to life, and what would happen when he's not the favorite toy. And I think that 4th one closed off Woody's story.
Specifically,
And he was the main character of all the movies, so
it
felt right to close his story out like that instead of just leaving it after Toy Story 3.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. I do think, though, I liked the ending. And I was sad when they left. And I thought that makes sense. Because don't get me wrong, I love a good movie death. I love when movies ends with the death of a character. It's just like, Endgame, just emotional punch. Mm-hmm. But more realistically, you end up leaving people more often than dying. So I think that was sadder. Though I think when they are under the car at the beginning of that movie is the saddest. Oh my god. When she's standing there and she's just like, some toys just get left in a box, and he's so sad, and he can't leave, and then he just have to lie there. She gets taken away. I was like, that's damn sad.
Because I was like, before, the interviews with like Tim Allen and all them, they're saying how they couldn't finish their last lines because they were crying so much. So it really made it seem like the ending was super sad. So I was expecting to be very sad at the end, but I did not expect to be very sad in the beginning like that.
It's like 5 minutes in, too.
It was 5 minutes in. So once that scene happened, I'm like, oh my god, like, I'm ready to cry now. But then by the end, I was still sad that he was leaving.
Yeah.
But it didn't hit me as hard as the beginning. I don't know if it's because I expected the end, but I didn't expect the beginning. But as of now, I do feel like the beginning definitely hit me harder than the end. But they were both paid off pretty good, though. So I think that was a good job to them.
Okay, so that's it for Pixar. So you do have a different animated movie.
Yes, I do.
And I've only seen part of this.
So my favorite animated movie is How to Train Your Dragon 3 in 2019. Mm-hmm. And I guess I do have a little bit of bias towards this because the How to Train Your Dragon franchise is my favorite animated franchise out of all time.
Yeah.
So the first 2 movies have a big place in my heart. So that's why before I even saw the movie, I was expecting this to be my favorite. Yeah. No, before I even saw it. But it definitely did live up to what I was expecting. And the fact that it is a third movie in the trilogy, it definitely...
It's hard.
Yeah. It's hard to do, but it also does influence me to like it more because they had the first 2 movies to build up to it, and it gives off a great ending how it transitions from not having dragons in the first one, and Hiccup was kind of like a loser.
Yeah.
And then having Toothless, his dragon, within the next 2 movies, that's where he finds who he is.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And everyone praises him, and he feels like he's nothing without his dragon. And then it ends with a very emotional let go of his dragons, and you're just like, wow, he really evolved throughout the first 2 movies and the third one to be able to say goodbye to his dragon and not feel like how he would be in the beginning of the first one when he's attached to it. I feel like that was a perfect payoff to his character and the entire franchise of How to Train Your Dragon, because something, especially a popular one like this, it is very delicate to how you end things, and I think they just executed it perfectly.
Yeah.
They did delay it, I think, like 2 years. Like, it's supposed to come out in like
Yeah.
2017, and I was kind of mad about it, but I think it was worth it. Whatever gets them the better movie, and I think it paid off.
People, and a lot of movies get delayed, and people expect the worst, but sometimes it's for the worst. Sometimes it does go down Schitt's Creek, but I think sometimes if you need to delay it, just delay the movie and make a better one. I don't mind. But yeah, no, I saw the trailer for that movie was fantastic.
Yep.
Like, I specifically remember the trailer, and it's like, I'm not a huge Ed Sheeran fan, but I can picture it's the song Castle on the Hill, and it looks like it's gonna be Lord of the Rings 3.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. But
It's like the huge epic stuff, and and then I didn't end up watching it.
I mean,
so I guess.
well, you saw the second one, right?
Yeah.
So, especially the trailer, when it shows Hiccup as a kid with his dad speaking to him, I cried during the trailer during that part, because, you know, at the end of the second one, and then they were bringing a little bit of that into the third one. I'm just like, wow, that's definitely going to hit hard. And if you are familiar with the books, you already knew what was going to happen with the dragons, because the book starts off, like, the first line of the book is, when I was a kid, there were dragons, so you know something did happen to the dragons. So that's why I was excited to see how they play into that, and
especially with the movies.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to watch that one then. I'll add it to I have a never-ending list of just so much crap I gotta watch.
Well, I mean, when you're a film major, that's you have a bunch of stuff you want to watch, but then at the same time, you feel like you never have time to watch.
Exactly, and like when you talk to other people who like film, it's like you talk to them, and eventually movies do come up, and they're like, "You should watch this," and I'm like,
you know,
I cannot watch this much stuff. I'm not gonna live that long, and new stuff comes out every day.
Yeah. When you're finally gonna get to the one that you wanted to watch like 3 years ago, then something else comes out that you want to watch. So
it's even like TV shows. They're like, you should watch this show, and I'm like, oh, what season are you on? And they're like, oh, it's on season 2. By the time I get around to watching it, that is happened with. Have you ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine? Totally off topic.
Yeah, and I'd seen like episodes. I never watched it in its entirety, but I seen episodes.
Someone told me to watch it. I finally got around to watching it. When they told me to watch it, there was a season and a half. When I finally watched it, there were like 4 seasons, and I didn't watch 4 seasons, and I like it a lot. But I was like, for God's sakes. Okay, so that is our end of our very long award show for 2019.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next segment. So I'm going to put time codes in the description of everything we posted on. So if you're just skipping to this part, this is our most anticipated movies of 2020. So here's how we're going to do it. We got our top 5. Not going to lie. Our top 5s are very similar.
It did take us a while because there are a lot of movies we are excited for.
I am going to be broke at the end of this year.
And some of these could be interchangeable.
Yes.
Like they're all very close to each other. So, and then after our top 5, we do have some honorable mentions we just want to list off too, because there are so many movies we are excited for this year.
Like, no joke. I'm going to spend so much money on movies this year, especially because they're all stuff that is like a franchise or stuff I don't want to get spoiled, or it's like I got to go see it in theaters. Okay, so let's start off with our top 5. So, you want to start off with number 5 first?
Yeah, let's start with number 5.
Okay, what do you got? I think we have the same number 5?
Mine is Wonder Woman, 1984.
I have the same thing.
Wow, that's surprising.
That's very surprising. I think I'm excited to see DC get their crap together. I think that the Wonder Woman movies are the most popular, and I very much enjoyed 3/4.
Yep, 3/4. The ending wasn't that.
No.
Yeah, it didn't really pay off.
I feel like the ending was studio involvement of the first one, where they had a strong movie with no really big fight scene at the end, and then someone was like, it's a superhero movie, we need a fight scene, and that's why they chucked it in.
And I just felt like having the villain, what was it, Ares?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the entire time, I think it would have been cool to make it, like the entire time she was saying, oh, Ares is the villain, and then everyone's like, you're crazy.
You're crazy, it's World War I,
yeah, you're crazy, what are you talking about? There's not one guy that makes us fight in, like, the world fight in a war.
Yeah.
And then after she killed, I forget the guy's name. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but she killed what was it?
evil German guy.
Yeah, so then
Number
and then he
57.
wasn't Ares. I thought that would have been very cool if like she was actually wrong
Yeah.
and crazy. Like, yeah, there actually is no, like there could have
One.
been something else for her to do because she's like a god, and
Yeah.
you can't just have her just like killing just normal human beings because that's just too easy.
This
And,
is way too
and
easy.
you want your big fight scene.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like they did just throw Ares was actually behind it, but. I don't know if they were able to think of something else besides that, because I think it would have been cool if like, oh, she was actually wrong the entire time, and like, I don't know. So that's just what I thought was a little
It was weird
weak about the
movie.
end.
Though
you know?
I will have to say, I think I grew up. I honestly grew up, I think, more on DC Comics characters than I did Marvel, and I only started liking Marvel characters once the MCU came out. So I grew up on kind of like the Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, like the kind of trinity of stuff. So I was excited for this movie. I like this movie a lot. I think Gal Gadot is very good. As
Yeah,
a
she
Wonder
fits
Woman.
the part good.
She fits the part fantastically. And I'm excited to see for this one, now that they know that people are going to show up, I think they're going to give them a little more leeway to do whatever the hell they want. And it looks a little weirder. And I'm kind of more interested in that they're doing their own weird thing. Also, it's got the Mandalorian in it, so you can't go wrong.
So, yeah, no, I'm just really excited to see what they do with this and how they play it into their universe, because
If their
their universe has been very disappointing to me. Like, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of movies within the DCEU that I do enjoy,
Yeah.
and I think are great, but as a universe, they just didn't find their mold
No.
to keep everything together, especially with the Justice League, because
Yeah.
the movie was like a good 2 hours or so,
It was a long movie.
but it still felt rushed because they're introducing half the team within their team up movie, which they literally had blueprints for how to do a universe from Marvel already. They should have followed that line with your phases and introducing everyone within their own movies before the team up movie, and also the fact that they're struggling with keeping the same actors and they're switching actors for parts every single movie doesn't help them out either. But there's definitely, like, Wonder Woman I mostly liked. Like, Aquaman I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
Shazam, Man of Steel I liked a lot too.
Yeah, me too.
Like, Suicide Squad was a big bust, in my opinion.
Do you know what I didn't realize? I was rewatching a scene from that the other day because we'll get to this later, but Birds of Prey is coming out and I'm excited for that. And then the Suicide Squad. David Hopper is in Suicide Squad.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
Didn't know it was him.
Who was he?
He's just a guy. They just have him, and he's just like one of the guys in suits sitting on the table, like, this is a bad idea. I was like, why did you get the Stranger Things guy and then do nothing with them?
To be honest, I probably didn't even notice because I watched Suicide Squad before I started watching Stranger Things. So that's why I probably.
Things come out?
I feel like that's like a 2016 or 2015.
Yeah, I think so.
But I didn't start watching it until 2018.
Yeah, but same, actually. Okay, so basically, excited for Wonder Woman. Excited to see where they go with the universe. I think that everyone in that movie is good. I think Patty Jenkins is actually a great director and good writer when she's let to do what she wanted.
I mean,
so.
DC's been... It looks like they're trying to find their way with their movies a little bit better now. Like, they've definitely been putting out some pretty good movies. I just hope now they could form it into a universe like Marvel does.
I think they realize that they're much weirder than Marvel, whereas Marvel is like, it's a normal person who just happens to have superpowers. You know what I mean? Like, most of the time it's that, and it's like, it's an average, Captain America, and every guy you got, or Iron Man, built his own thing. I think DC Universe realized we're wacky. Like, and just with the Shazam, and then Birds of Prey, and then Wonder Woman, just lean into the fact that this is just crazy shit.
Also, another movie that we didn't even talk about from 2019, like Joker.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I feel like, well, we're not even sure where that fits into the DCU.
No idea.
Like, I feel like it might be in a tie into Batman, but I don't even know about...
If Batman's in the DCU right now?
Yeah, so that's why, because I know they're making their own solo Batman film,
Yeah.
but it wasn't confirmed or anything that it's in the universe. So that's why I'm kind of like disappointed with DC, because they're not really being consistent for what's in it, what's not in it, or like, or if it is in it, they're not tying it together well.
Yeah.
And especially now the Crisis on Earth
Infinite Universe, yeah.
And the Flash, like they had the movie Flash with the TV,
show Flash.
So like that's why I feel like everyone's getting confused on what is their universe.
I feel like they could either do Marvel Universe, where it's that, or just don't. Like, I honestly, if they cranked out a bunch of really good solo movies and solo sequels, if they were all really good, to the point where I, like, think that they were all good on their own, I don't know if I would mind them not having a universe. Like, I'd still like it.
Well, just like how they did back in the day, like, each superhero just had their own trilogy or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Bingo.
Like,
yeah.
That's what I grew up on. That's why Spider-Man used to be my favorite when growing up, because that was the...
They were the movies to watch.
That was the movie to watch, you know?
They were so good. Like, even the old, like, 1970s, 1980s Batman and Superman.
Or even just, like, the... What was it? Who was the actor that played the last Batman with Dark Knight?
Oh, Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale. Like, Christian Bale's Batman. Like, that was just a trilogy and everyone loved those.
Yeah, those are fantastic. Like, if they can do those kind of things, I don't think I'd mind. But don't play 50-50 where it's like you have some solo movies and then you have a universe, but you might not have a universe. And it might be a multiverse. But say la vie. Okay, for number 4, I think this is where we start to vary slightly. For number 4, I have Black Widow.
And my number 4 is Birds of Prey.
Okay, so I know that you have Black Widow higher on your list, so
yes.
I won't say where. The reason I don't have this higher on my list is because it's, and I know it's going to set up a bunch of stuff, but it is still technically a missequel? I don't know what it is. It's in the middle of the 22 movies that I've already seen.
A prequel to the timeline we're at right now.
Yeah.
But here, we'll wait until we get to when I have Black Widow down to start talking about it, since mine's Birds of Prey, and that will just bounce right off the DC conversation that we just had.
Though the Birds of Prey, the reason... So, you said Birds of Prey, and actually Birds of Prey is my number 3, so we can kind of roll this in one.
Yeah. I'm
excited for Birds of Prey. It comes out next week. I'm excited for it because a couple things. They're just doing... looks like just a really strange Deadpool-esque balls to the wall, whatever the hell they want movie. I have no idea what's happening in it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I've seen all the trailers. I know the general plot. They're going up against Black Mask. Ewan McGregor. I love Ewan McGregor. But...
Hello there.
Yeah, hello there. That was our other idea for the podcast, was just saying, hello there. Like 40 minutes straight and posting it on the internet. And you know what? It would have gotten a lot of views.
Probably.
If we posted a video of us saying hello there on, like, TikTok or something, we would have gotten that many views. It's like, grow up as a kid. You love Star Wars, you make Star Wars references, and you're a nerd. Then 2019 comes around, and, like, every girl on TikTok's like, hello there. I'm like, where were you for 19 years? Say la vie. Say la vie. Regardless. What was I saying before I got very distracted?
Talking about Birds of Prey.
Okay, Birds of Prey. I think it's weird. I think it... and you sent me this. Spoiler-ish, if we're right. Green Arrow might be the ending?
Oh, yes. I think that would be
good.
Very amazing.
That would be fantastic.
Especially if they were able to cast Stephen Amell as Green Arrow. That would be... But he definitely hung up. He definitely hung it up, especially after his last
Charlie
season.
Hunnam from... people have been saying this for years, but from King Arthur Legends of the Sword, The Gentleman... do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, people saying that he might be on board as Green Arrow. There was speculation when King Arthur came out, and then a little more speculation now. But I would not mind.
But they were even saying, like, it could be just, like, a quick cameo just to tease him, but not even have an actor ready for him, just, like, not even show his face
they could
or
do
something.
An arrow shooting a wall or something.
Yeah, just a nice tease for just saying that in the future we will be bringing him, because he was in Justice League. Yeah. Like they didn't put him in the movie, but he was, like, in the comics and stuff.
He's Arrow kicked off kind of the new DC everything.
Well, yeah, Arrow, that was, like, the biggest, before the DC universe started, you had the Arrowverse on TV, and it was super popular.
It's huge.
Especially, like, the
Still
show.
Huge.
Yeah, the show didn't end off as good as it started, but, like, the first 3 seasons, that was, like, my favorite show to watch.
Season 2 was actually
amazing.
sad. There were, like, legitimate moments in that show where I was like, this is sad.
Mm-hmm. That's why I was really hoping to get Arrow into the DCEU, because that show made me love that character so much, especially with the Flash too.
Yeah, and I think because they've got Black Canary and Birds of Prey.
Yeah, Black Canary too. So
you never.
That's
know.
another time. Yeah, so if they have Black Canary and Birds of Prey,
into Green Arrow.
Green Arrow too. So that would be very interesting. And I'm definitely like Harley Quinn is definitely a character that you could just love to watch because she's basically she basically could act like Deadpool, but Deadpool's an anti-hero and she's just full on nuts.
She's just crazy.
Yeah. So
also Margot Robbie is, and I know Suicide Squad has a lot of flaws. And they were not given stuff to work with.
At least James Gunn, I think he'll save the second one.
I think he'll save the second one. But I think that she specifically is... She is a good actor. I've seen her in a bunch of stuff, and she's a good actor. And I think that she brings this like weird maniacal energy to that role that's going to... Even if the movie's not great, she's going to be great in it.
Yeah.
What is your number 3? Birds of Prey was my number 3. What is your number 3?
My number 3 is... No Time to Die, James Bond. I know. I know Nolan has this on his list too, but it is higher up.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to wait until we get to yours.
We can. Why? Actually, yeah. Good point. This is very well thought out. Why do you have it in your top 5? That's a question.
So, I never was one of those people that watch like all the old James Bonds or like back in the day, but I did recently come to watching the Daniel Craig ones. Yeah, and I do enjoy them a lot, especially because of Daniel Craig. I think that's amazing actor, and I'm a big like action film guy. Yeah, especially like I like the ones where you just have like one badass guy that just like takes out everyone instead of like.
And it's smart action, not just confusing action.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I just kind of just like grew to love it within like literally like the past couple months, and now I see,
possibly since Knives Out came out.
Yeah, but also then I saw the trailer for. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I gotta watch all these movies before the new one comes out so I can see the new one. Yeah. And I definitely did fall in love with them, and now I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah, I will.
And also, it's the last one too. So
I'll get to this when I get to where it is on mine. But it is the last one, and that's kind of what's set apart for me. So 2 is the same for both.
Yeah,
of us.
We both got the same number 2.
Number 2 is the Eternals.
Yep.
This is going to set up, hypothetically, we'll set up all the future MCU cosmic stuff, which is why it's so high on my list. Mm-hmm. Because, first of all, it is a great cast. Like, it is a seriously good cast.
I saw someone talking about it, and there definitely are a bunch of people that have no idea who the Eternals are. Yeah. And it definitely is going to be the new, like how Guardians of the Galaxy was a risk for Marvel in the old phases. Now this is the new risk because people aren't familiar with it. So they're like, you know what? We're just going to stack up this cast. So everyone's going to come watch it now.
I am actually a weirdly huge fan of Kumail Nanjiani, he's the guy... he's the guy who got really ripped. Yep. Yeah. Did you? Oh my god. Okay. But I think he's very funny, but also a very good actor. So I'm interested. I think he fits perfectly into Marvel, where it's that serious but can drop some hysterically funny one-liners. I'm excited for him. Angelina Jolie, I am excited for because I think this would be good. There was one other person in the cast. The cast is huge, so my apologies.
You only got the Game of Thrones stars there too.
Oh yeah, Richard Madden. I forgot he was in it. The cast is large, and but I'm excited for that, and I think let's set up Galactus is my question.
Well, we already have in the MCU. It's been speculated that the next new big bads. It's not going to be just one like Thanos. It's going to separate the MCU into 2 different storylines. One's going to be like the cosmic realm, like cosmic world, and then you got the Earthbound problems. So, and they're speculating Doctor Doom in the on Earth, and then Galactic in the cosmics, and I think that would be super cool. And it definitely would, because after Endgame, like everyone's just like, everyone's like, how are you gonna like one up that? How are you gonna do better than Endgame? And I think if they do go down this route, which everyone feels like they are, I think that it could be bigger than Endgame.
Honestly, if they set up like 2 sagas that merge in the end,
Yep, they merge them for the end. That would be
Eternals
incredible.
is the kind of merge.
No, it is the merge
They're
because
cosmic, but they're on Earth.
yeah, they're cosmic beings, but they're defenders and protectors of Earth.
Yeah.
So that's how the 2 worlds meet. Especially because they said, Kevin Feige said that the Eternals know the Avengers, but the Avengers don't know them.
Yes. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
I feel like it's a good time to introduce them because after Endgame, you're missing the team's like not really a team right now.
Yeah.
People are gone, and no one knows like what's going to be going on with the Avengers now. They got to find their way back. So maybe that's why the Eternals step in to
kind of protect. Also be interesting to see their Undying, but half of them would technically have died.
And
in the Blip.
Yeah, and that could.
That'd be interesting to see their reactions to dying.
Yeah.
Because they can't.
So
relatively speaking.
That could also influence them to really
step it up.
Step out of the shadows, you know.
Yes. Okay. So, and there's a ton of we could do 3 podcasts on Eternal speculation alone because there is just so much crap.
Or just in the entire future of the MCU.
Oh my dude, we could sit here for another month to talk about. We could sit here until the next movie comes out and talk about the speculation of MCU. Okay, number 1. What is your number 1?
My number 1 is Black Widow.
Yes. Why is this your number 1?
Mostly because of all the rumors and speculations that I've been seeing that could really influence the future of the MCU.
Yeah.
And also because it's the only reason why, like, because I know Eternals is going to do that too.
Yeah.
But Black Widow is already a known character.
Yep.
And everybody wanted her to have her own solo movie for forever, and she never got it. And now she's finally getting it.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, hey, good for her. I'm excited. I'm watching it. Especially you got Hopper in there too, and I feel like he just plays a good, he has a good dynamic with them too from the trailer.
Yeah.
And I think he'll definitely be a funny character for that.
Also, Scarlett Johansson is a very good actor and has not had enough chances in the MCU. Like she has. Okay, she's very good in all the movies, but I mean, she hasn't had a chance to like be the standout character. A little bit in Endgame, especially in the beginning. But to the point where you really feel for her, and I think that this movie will sell you on that. Also, and I know we were talking about this earlier, the speculation of if you haven't seen, in the trailer, she's holding a bunch of red vials. And
there's 2 different rumors for it.
There's the Pym particles, or it's serum to make the Red Hulk out of Thunderbolt Ross. I heard, for the Pym particle thing, I heard that when Steve Rogers goes back to the military base and steals the two Pym particle things, he leaves 7 of the red vials, and in the trailer, she's holding 7 red vials, which could be a coincidence. It's a very specific coincidence.
Even though they already released a Funko Pop of her in the movie, and she's holding those vials.
Yes.
So you obviously know that that's going to be important.
Bingo. I think, yeah.
They're not just going to make that into a toy if it's just like something she's just randomly holding in the movie that's not important.
It's like, what was the last... Funko Pop does this a lot where they'll they'll release something like was it Solo? I think all the toys had like coaxium in it. And then that turned out to be like the thing that everyone was trying to get in the movie. They hadn't released it. So I think that might be this, where this is like the MacGuffin of the movie where everyone is trying to get whatever this is. I really want to see Red Hulk.
Wait, before we talk about Red Hulk, there was another thing I saw of, if it is Pym particles, is that the Black Widow in the movie is actually Black Widow from Endgame.
Yes.
And she time traveled there. Because she quoted in the trailer, like, I forget exactly what she said, but she said, like, it's time to fix my past or something like that. And so then I saw speculation saying that while she was falling to her death, she went back in time, lived an entire life throughout that timeline that she's in Black Widow movie. In fixing her past, and then she, like, after she lived her life or felt like she was satisfied what she fixed, then she used it to go back to that moment and then save or sacrifice yourself for the Soul Stone, which I think that is definitely a big stretch, and that probably won't happen. But it definitely is something interesting to think about when I heard about it.
You know what all I can think of right now is, have you ever seen the movie Megamind?
Yep.
Or like the movies, all I can picture is the movie starts off with Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff falling off a cliff, and she's like, "You probably wondered how I've gotten here." My story's pretty crazy.
Or Thor Ragnarok when he's tied up in chains and he's just like, oh, you were probably wondering how God of Thunder, how Thor's tied up in chains and all that. Like,
I forgot about the beginning of that movie. I love that movie so much. The skeleton's jaw.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So I think that Black Widow will set up all the Earth stuff.
And also, we could talk about Red Hulk too. Like if that is serum for Red Hulk. Yeah. Because they even showed Ross in the trailer. And he was younger in that too. I didn't
realize that until recently. He is de-aged. And he's blonde hair, so he's significantly de-aged.
So that's probably flashback. Because he was trying to, like in the original, Hulk movie, the Incredible Hulk, like he was trying to use Banner to make more soldiers like him. So I think he was trying to experiment on himself too. Because in Civil War, he was completely healthy and all that, and then after all that stuff happened, and then you got runaways and they're not following the law and they don't want to sign the Soviet Accords, then he's probably like, he has no power over them, so maybe he's just like, I gotta be as powerful as them. So he experiments on himself, trying to get become like the Hulk, all the way back from the 2008 Incredible Hulk. And there was also released set photos of him, and he looked very sickly. So that's why they're saying like he was experimenting and something gone wrong, but then like eventually he becomes the Red Hulk.
Also, that might be a setup to She-Hulk.
Too, yeah, because they are gonna come with the She-Hulk.
I'm excited for that. Recently I've heard people say that Gina, oh crud, I forgot her last name. Cara Dune in The Mandalorian.
Okay, yeah.
That people want her to be the She-Hulk, and I think that would actually be great. I think she's fantastic in The Mandalorian, and I think she'd fit that well.
But I also think obviously because she's tough in like all her movies and stuff. But I feel like they shouldn't get a tough girl for it, because just like Bruce Banner, you're not like, as a human, they're not like, this strong person. They're just like smart, but then this power makes them strong.
I don't know for She-Hulk if they're gonna do CGI She-Hulk, or like in the comics she keeps her mind and she gets a good portion of Hulk's powers, but not to like the incredible mass he is. So I don't know if they'll make her a bigger person or if they're gonna make her like CGI. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like they don't know.
Maybe they'll just CGI, make her green, and just like
they just make her green.
or just like a little bit bigger. Maybe like if she's like 5'5" or something, maybe she gets like 6 foot or something.
I think because in the comics she is like 7 feet tall. Like, she's a big character, but it's still, I think she's also great, and I'm super excited.
Well, even if she keeps her mind, maybe she will be smaller, because once Bruce Banner combined Bruce Banner to the Hulk, he wasn't as big as just the Hulk himself. Yeah. So maybe like he does have a little bit more human to him. So if she's gonna be the same way, like normal mind with Hulk's body, she probably will be smaller too then.
So I think we might get an inkling of that in Black Widow. I think they're not going to include, at this rate, they're not going to include Ross without some sort of Hulk tie-in.
Yeah, like, especially that's a big thing in the comics too, and they've been, like, why else would they make a movie of Black Widow after she died if they weren't going to
do something,
release something or reveal something that's going to play into the future?
Yeah.
Like, I know everyone's like, oh, why make a movie now after she died? Well, it's MCU. I trust them. They do everything for a reason. They have everything planned out within the next 10 years already. So there's definitely something that happens within this time frame that will come soon in the MCU. And I think the Red Hulk would be
kind of perfect segue. Also, it gives credit to the Disney Plus shows, because She-Hulk's going to be a Disney Plus show. So it will like be the first official tie-in between the movies and the TV, which I think they desperately need. Okay, so my number one...
Wait,
sorry.
One more thing.
Yep.
And this is also another speculation too that I just saw recently, and this is definitely a stretch too, but it would be very interesting twist if this actually did happen. There's rumors that Angelina Jolie's character in Eternals could possibly actually be Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Because in the new trailer, at one moment, it does look like Taskmaster could have a female figure.
Mm-hmm.
And in Eternals, Angelina Jolie's character is supposed to be is one of the best warriors out of them, and she's been watching the Avengers and studying them and making sure everything was going to plan, everything's okay, Earth is safe. And Taskmaster's powers is he's able to mimic anybody's fighting style by watching them. And Angelina Jolie's character's been watching the Avengers
forever,
since they've been around. So that's how in the trailer you saw him fight just 6 different...
Yeah, it was like Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America, Spider-Man, Hawkeye.
Her.
Yeah, so that's definitely could be a reason why, because Angelina Jolie's character's been watching them. And also, they were saying, maybe she's unsure if Black Widow is a threat to the Earth or not, because she released all her past stuff
from S.H.I.E.L.D.,
from S.H.I.E.L.D. in Winter Soldier for the entire world to see. And then after Civil War happened, and she's a fugitive, and she let Bucky Barnes go, which could cause a big explosion. A big explosion. So that could make her a threat too. And also she was part of the Avengers team, which did create Ultron.
Yep.
So maybe she's going to
in the long run. They're actually bad.
Yeah, well that's why I think in this movie she's not actually gonna she's Taskmaster, and he might not actually be the main villain to the movie, and she's just trying to figure out if Black Widow actually is good or bad in it. But I think that is a long stretch and it probably won't happen. Yeah. But it would be a pretty interesting reveal, and also it could help because Eternals is the next movie that comes out, and throwing her throwing her in the movie right before could help people want to watch Eternals more, since not many people know about them.
My question is, my thought is for the Taskmaster is, if it's not Angelina Jolie's character, who I forget the name of, my apologies. I think I'm not even going to speculate because we're going to get yelled at. If it's not Taskmaster, I wonder if they're going to do comic book Taskmaster? Task? Son of a gun. Taskmaster. I wonder if they're going to do the comic book accurate version, relatively speaking, and then he's somehow tied into the past, or if they're going to do something new, which I don't mind. Like
leading up to the future.
Mm-hmm. Because Ant-Man and the Wasp had Ghost, who was very different from comic book Ghost, who's if I'm not mistaken, is a IT technician guy who steals Stark Tech and does that. Whereas obviously it's Ghost in the movie. And I have no problem if they switch around the characters, if it makes it a better... I like Ghost, and I know people got really pissed, she's a lady now. It was fine. I liked that movie. Yeah. I thought Ant-Man was very enjoyable. I am interested to see if they're going to introduce a new villain that will keep showing up, or if they're going to take an old villain, maybe an ex-Hydra, someone that we saw in Winter Soldier, or maybe even Captain America, the first one, and be he's a Hydra agent that keeps coming back, like they did kind of with Crossbones in Civil War. He came back.
Yeah, even though he was just just the beginning
guy. Yeah.
But that definitely would be cool. I think there's
so much
so many different options of who he or she could be, but it is supposed to be a big reveal who he or she is. Yeah. So that's why it's also my number one to see.
They're really pulling it close to the chest of this one. It is a big reveal. You know what? I just thought about that. I can't think of a movie recently where I didn't know the cast in it beforehand.
Yeah.
I'm Okay, my number one is No Time to Die, the James Bond movie. This is why it's my number one, is because I had seen some of the old ones a while ago. I'd seen some of the newer ones a while ago. I rewatched all of them and then finished watching them recently. in preparation for this one, and I'm most excited for this because it's the last one, and the trailer looks good, and I think they're going to do it well. You know what I mean? Like everything looks good. Yeah, hopefully. Everything looks good. It's the last Daniel Craig one. I'm wondering if they're gonna set up for
another reboot.
That's my question. Is it gonna be they're gonna do sequels with this, and someone else takes on the 007 name? Because someone in the trailers, someone else has taken on the 007 name. I forget what the character's name is. But it's a lady who's taking on the 007 name while he's in retirement and everything. And I'm interested to see if she'll be the next 007.
Well, how many movies they got? Like somewhere in the 30s, right?
Oh, how many movies in total?
In total, yeah.
Oh, there's so many. Which was Bond 20? This is the Bond. Is this the 25th movie?
Oh, they're only in the 20s. That's still a lot.
There's a lot of them.
I could have sworn it was closer to 30.
I think the whole thing is that this is Bond 25. I think that's what it was.
It might be then. It might be then, but yeah. So the fact that they have 25 different ones in like a good amount of reboots. Yep. That's why after this is the last Daniel Craig one. If they are just gonna do a spin-off with a different character, or actually reboot it, or just say done with Bond, no more Bond movies.
I highly doubt. Honestly,
at least for a while, maybe Star Wars after the
took a break.
After the original trilogy, they waited a good amount of time.
I think they're more likely to do a spin-off than a reboot.
Mm-hmm. I think they had enough reboots.
They've had so many reboots, and I think nowadays we have so many spy movies. Like you got less or so
Kingsman.
Now. You got Kingsman. You got sort of Jason Bourne. You've got everything like that kind of action style movie that I think they'll either do a spin-off with new characters or do a reboot. And I'm more partial to a spin-off. Also, I don't mind if this is it. Like if this is the end and they do a really satisfying conclusion, and if he dies, at this point I have so limited emotional experience that I'm like, I only get sad if the character dies. So I'm kind of half rooting for him to die because they'll be like, oh, that's kind of sad. Mm-hmm. But so that is why it's my number one. Not because I think it's going to be the biggest game changer this year, because I think it's going to be the end of James Bond for a considerable amount of time, and I'm excited to see what that happens. But that's the top 5, and that took longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because you think about it we'll just
we'll
just mention our top 5, talk a little bit about it, but then once we get into conversation, our geek senses kick in, and then we don't want to stop talking.
Ding, ling, ling, ling. my spider nerd senses are tingling. And this is the pilot episode. Most of the other episodes won't run as long as this one. We usually be doing a specific topic, or we'll be talking a movie we've seen, or a speculation, whatever. We'll have a topic of the week. We'll do the news. But so now we got some honorable mentions.
We won't talk about these ones really since we've been taking a long time. We'll just mention them.
And we can talk about them briefly. We still got time, but okay, so honorable mentions for 2020. There are, and we've mentioned this 3 times, there are a lot of movies.
Yep.
And that made, and I know we had basically the same top 5 in a different order, but it was a hard choice. And I think if the MCU wasn't as established for me as it was, there would have been a lot of contenders to the top 5. Onward, the Pixar one.
Yep, we got Onward on there.
As I enumerated in my Toy Story 4 thing earlier, love Pixar.
It's definitely going to hit an emotional punch.
Oh my God.
And I already think I know how it's going to end, which will make me cry. And also just having Tom Holland and Chris Pratt as the main cast. I'm already sold. I don't care what the plot is.
Yep,
if they're in it, I'm gonna watch it.
Also, it's a new thing, and I like Pixar's new stuff.
Yeah.
I think I like Pixar's new ideas better than the sequels, with the exception of Toy Story.
Mm-hmm. Toy Story is basically the only one that has a good movie
consistently. Yeah.
Every single, I think all 4 of them were perfect.
Yeah. No. I have no problems with them.
Yeah.
Oh, good for different reasons too, which is awesome. I got on my other honorable mentions Morbius.
Yep, I got that too. Mostly because
what?
No one knows what's going on because they have the Spider-Man tie-in and then also the Vulture tie-in.
They've got MCU Vulture, Sam Raimi Spider-Man. It'd be funny if someone messed up Like some intern, they've
Mm-hmm.
said put a poster of Spider-Man on the wall, and then they've started a little speculation. They're like, Jerry, you're fired. Get the hell out of here.
I think there's been talk about like the deal with Marvel and Sony, and apparently, because Sony still wants to be able to take stuff from Tom Holland's Spider-Man, so that's why I'm pretty sure the deal is they could reference to stuff that happened to the MCU, but whatever happens there doesn't affect the MCU.
Which will be interesting. So that will mean that this is after, hypothetically speaking, this means that this is after the Blip.
Yeah, this after Far From Home because it says murderer. So
which I guess sets Venom before, because Venom came out after Infinity War.
Yes.
So I guess technically that movie, So I guess technically that movie would have taken place before.
No, it came out before.
I thought it came out.
No, I'm pretty sure I watched it like November of 2018. And
but no, Infinity War came out at the beginning of 2018. Not Endgame, Infinity War.
Oh, wait, I'm trying to think. No, I think my freshman year. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Also, I love the fact.
I think my timeline.
No, there's just so many movies.
Up.
That's fine. I just love it. If this is in the MCU, and if Venom is in the MCU, my favorite part will be, the part where Venom goes like, he's like, aliens? Like aliens? E.T. phone home? Is like, he's probably he's basically the MCU equivalent of like a 9/11 conspiracy theorist where like New York gets blown up and they're like, aliens blew up New York! And Eddie Brock's going there like, no they didn't! Aliens don't exist! And they're like, they're from the sky! That's probably when he got fired as a reporter. They're like, Eddie, do the coverage on the alien that's in front of you. And he's like, it's not an alien. It's a guy in a party bin mask. I'm not writing about it. No, but I'm interested to see how this ties into the MCU. I'm interested to see how this ties Venom into the MCU.
Yeah, so, I mean, who knows? Maybe in the future, though, they make a full-on deal that like Marvel has all the rights to do into the MCU, or they just make another like deal for a movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Marvel wants to risk that if they don't have full control over it, because then it could affect their universe if they can't use them again. That's why I think, as of now, Tom Holland's Spider-Man exists in their universe, but he doesn't. But everything that happens outside the MCU, like Morbius and Venom, will not affect the MCU.
Yeah.
But another way they could do that, because they're like, kind of like how you can do that is they're thinking about having Doctor Strange. Yeah. Like because it's Multiverse of Madness.
Bingo.
So,
and Morbius is a vampire and might be a tie into Blade.
Yeah, Blade's coming out too. So like if Morbius is actually in Venom, is actually in the MCU, but they're in a different multiverse.
Yep.
And that's how Spider-Man goes through a different multiverse and ends up in the movie that way.
Yep.
And I think that would be like the best way to do it, because you could tie it without it affecting the main timeline or universe.
Also, it would kind of make sense that then Venom's actually from a different dimension, because they could do like Secret Wars, where like Secret Wars, they bring all the like the dimensions and stuff together.
Yep.
And then in the original Secret Wars, like the original one, that's how Spider-Man gets Venom, when they all crash all the planets together. Venom's on one of the planets up there. That makes sense if they ever do Secret Wars, or they do Multiverse of Madness, where all the things crash together. It makes sense that Venom then comes from a different dimension.
And it also gives the fans an option for the most anticipated like fan service you could ever ask for, with having all three of the actors who played Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield, all in the same movie for like
with Tom Hardy.
With Tom Hardy too. Yeah. A nice like Spider-Verse.
Oh my God, no! You know what I just thought of? Oh, what if it's in the live action Into the Spider-Verse is they all meet up, and then it's Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy Venom meets Topher Grace Venom. Yep. And one of them is like 6 feet tall, and the other one's like 10 feet tall, and he's just like, it's like a 4-minute scene, and one Venom just bites the head off the other end of him, and that's it. Well, I guess he died in the third one. Still, I want to see Tom Hardy bite off Topher Grace's head. Yeah, in real life.
It's movies, so it could be like they actually survived.
It might be. Not even like CGI, just the actor Tom Hardy bites off actor Topher Grace's head in a movie. That's it.
That's definitely something fans will eat up.
Yep, just like Topher Grace is it. Topher Grace is actually a good actor, and he was kind of screwed over that movie, so I apologize for any Topher Grace lovers, but he doesn't have a head now. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Morbius means for time. I have next on my list is Fast and Furious 9, just because there are so many of these, and I've seen them.
And yeah, I've seen all of them, and they're definitely a lot of fun. Like I was a big fan of like the first 7. Number 8 kind of like I was kind of thinking it was enough of it. But then Hobbs and Shaw is actually one of my favorite ones. So I just thought the character dynamics of them was definitely super fun.
Yeah.
So that's why I wasn't too like number 9. I'm not like crazy excited about it, but it's a Fast and Furious. So I'm gonna watch it. It's action,
9 movies into this, you gotta watch.
Even though some of them start getting like too ridiculous with all the stunts, like in the
trailer, car.
They latch onto, they're jumping off a mountain with the car, and then it like latches onto this rope and they swing around. Like that, it is a little ridiculous, but it's just like a crazy action movie. So I'm gonna watch it. I'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
but
it's something to watch. It's something fun to go see. You don't think about it.
Yeah, you don't think about all the problems that they
do not think about it.
Just go into it trying to have fun, and then you'll have fun.
Yeah, bingo. I got Ghostbusters on my list.
Yep, I got Ghostbusters.
I am interested to see what they do.
Yeah, especially like
it's a sequel.
Especially in like they're taking a step back from the last one they just made with it's like a big comedy, and now just going back to the more like. It actually seems like this one's like
looks like Stranger Things.
Yeah, it looks like they got like
they had the cast of Stranger Things,
and it does seem more like a horror line than comedy, which is interesting. And they got Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
who doesn't love Paul Rudd?
Oh my god, and potentially Bill Murray back. I would love Paul Rudd, Bill Murray, and then Finn Wolfhard. Is that his name? Finn Wolfhard, I think. The Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Finn something or other. Finn Wolf something. Sorry, Finn Wolf something. I think those guys will bounce cool off each other. I'm a little cautious about sometimes when they do like the next generation and it's the kids find the parents. Sometimes that doesn't go amazingly.
Well, it's because they just try repeating.
Yeah.
Like with Star Wars.
So yeah, and Star Wars does it well, but I think that might be the only holdup they have, but I think.
Well, like I was like when I found out that it wasn't a sequel to the old. Like not the old one, like the recent one with all the girls.
One,
I was a little bit disappointed because I heard Paul Rudd was going to be in it. So that's why I thought Paul Rudd and Chris Hemsworth were going to be in the same Ghostbusters movie, and I thought that would have been so funny, especially like he was so funny in the last Ghostbusters. But then I realized that it was not a sequel to that movie, so Chris Hemsworth wouldn't be in it. But after seeing the trailer, I'm actually interested in it. So I'm not completely disappointed.
I think the 2016 Ghostbusters, it had a lot of talent. Everyone in the movie is good. There was just bad writing, and it wasn't their fault either.
I did laugh a lot though.
Yeah, no, it was funny. I think that the reason it did bad was obviously people had a freaking cow when they heard that a woman would be in the movie. But
just the fact that they're rebooting a beloved series.
Exactly. They can't win. It's a lose-lose situation.
Mm-hmm.
Which was kind of sad because they could have done really good stuff. But okay, I don't know if I have Artemis Fowl on my list.
I did not put that down.
Artemis Fowl it's about he's not technically an orphan. He's a billionaire kid from Ireland with a bodyguard who's like the size of a tank, and he realizes through science and math that there are fairies and like not fairies but like a magical universe. And then he kidnaps them and then basically does like a heist movie to kidnap them and get magical powers. And it's really strange and it sounds kind of funky, but the books are fantastic. The cast looks really good. They released the trailer for this like 2 years ago and it kept getting delayed. Yeah, this trailer came out. I watched this trailer, I think it was 2 years ago, and then it got bumped back and it's finally coming out. Maybe not 2 years ago? I forget, whatever.
Yeah, I have not seen the trailer. I never even heard of this, so it does sound like kind of interesting and weird, and it could potentially be very funny.
If they do well, it does. I've read all the books. I used to love them as a kid. They're really good. They're like that balance of sort of fantasy, sort of sci-fi, also very funny and kind of very heartfelt. And I think if they do that well, it'll be a Disney property that they can make $1 billion out of. But I'm excited for it to see what they do. I hope they don't wreck it. I hope they don't Percy Jackson it, and you know what I mean. Like,
apparently they're gonna try to reboot Percy Jackson.
I saw that. Yeah.
I liked the books. The books were
books.
cool. I did enjoy the first Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
Even though, everyone's always like, oh, the book's so much better. They say that about every movie. That's just because you can put as much as you want in a book, and
Bingo.
You can't do that with the movie. That's the only reason why. So, but I think it was good enough.
It was okay.
Where I enjoyed it, and I was pretty for the most part, I was satisfied with it. So, and I think now they do realize what didn't go right with the old ones.
Yeah.
So now that they're gonna reboot it, I think they could clean it up and fix it and make it better.
Do a mini series out of that. Like,
yeah, even
every season be
I actually would like
Yep.
to have a TV series like
Yep.
an 8-episode hour long.
Bingo.
That actually would be very cool.
For the amount of stuff and like side quests that they have in the books, I think they could do 6 to 8 episode miniseries. Every season is a book. Call it a quits.
And yeah, you could definitely fit a lot more, especially now that TV's series has blown up. It's like bigger than movies right now.
And they have all the like spin-off series. Like they have all the extra spin-off series. They could just spin off different TV shows from this Percy Jackson spin-off series. And they could make money until the sun burns out. Yeah, that guy is always, the guy who writes that, I forget his name, is always writing those books. They're on whatever, like book 40 at this rate. Jungle Cruise.
Yep.
The Rock wears a tiny hat. I'm showing up to that movie to see a man who's the size of a bus sit in the chair the size of a kindergarten stool.
I'm also just excited to just see another Rock adventure movie.
Okay, and I know this has kind of become a joke. Is his career goal to be in every movie about a jungle?
It might be.
I think he's got a monopoly on jungle movies. You've got Jumanji 1, Jumanji 2, Jungle Cruise. You got what was that other movie he was in? There's like a ton of movies where he's just like in the woods or in the jungle.
I know there's. I'm not gonna remember the name at all. It's been a while for this movie.
So many of them.
Oh, he's like, I forget if he's like a secret agent, and then he's like in the jungle in some other country with somebody. Yeah. I'm gonna have to like look it up.
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah, he was in that one too.
Like, I think he is just trying to just rack up jungle movies.
He's an adventure man.
He's an adventure man in a tiny hat. I think Emily Blunt is very good. I think she's good in basically everything she does, and I think the two of them are a kind of funny pairing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Who knows? Maybe Kevin Hart will have a cameo.
Kevin Hart will be. The tugboat will get a voice at some point.
Yeah.
You'll just see the voice. The tugboat, they'll be driving the boat. The boat will be like, hey! And they'll be like, whoa, the boat can talk now! I don't know. I think that this has the potential to be the next kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, like it's a Disney ride for years. Yeah. And then they're making a movie based off the ride. So.
And I think the first Pirates of the Caribbean is one of the best action comedies ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well written, it's funny. But so I think that is a potential to be this. What's another one you got on your list?
I have Mulan.
I actually sacrificed that for Artemis Fowl, but I am excited for that.
Like I know it's been a long time since I've seen the animated version,
same.
But it was a good one. Like it wasn't one that I'm like crazy obsessed with. Like I really didn't care about watching the animated one again. So I've seen it enough. But now that there's a live action version, and I think.
She looks
looking looking at the sets and all like the action in it, I'm like, this could actually be like a really fun action movie to watch, especially with like, the stories like with her father and then her joining the army.
Yeah.
I don't know if Disney's gonna play into like the script of the animated one a lot, or they're gonna go off different ways in this one.
I heard that it's they're basing the movie, obviously they're taking a lot from the animated, but they're making it more based on the original legend, like the ancient folklore. So you don't have Eddie Murphy talking dragon, you have that bird lady, the witch, and it's going to be more serious with I think there are no singing in it.
Honestly, I think that'd be better.
I think it's the Disney live actions, they're either perfect remakes or tiny changes, and I think this is the first one where they're like, this is technically its own movie. I'm excited for that.
That's why I want to see them do different stuff with it.
Yep.
And a lot of people are like, oh, you're gonna ruin the original ones, especially like with Lion King. Like everyone's obsessed with the animated versions, and they don't want to ruin it with the live action. But I want to see different like adaptations to it, though. You know, that's why I'm excited for it. Like that's why I'm excited for all like the new live action versions they're doing, especially when you have like
ones.
Especially like the Treasure Planet, Atlantis, Hunchback of Notre Dame, like
all the ones.
Those are like kind of like they're good movies, but they're kind of like forgotten, and just like the time where they were released, it wasn't the right time to release those, and they're only like a 90-minute animated film, and I feel like with the live actions, they could put more story into it to make it even better.
Good, yeah.
Because there's definitely, when watching those movies, you're like, oh, there's more content that could make this movie even better.
Yeah.
And I think in live action, they could definitely explore that, and I can't wait to see what they do with all those.
But for now, if let's say for something like Treasure Planet, which I know we both love Treasure Planet, I think it might not get as much money at a theatrical release, so they could make the movie and put it on Disney Plus.
Well, they already made a live action Lady and the Tramp and just put it straight to Disney Plus,
which I wouldn't mind. It has basically the same budget because they know it will be a seller.
But I am also, especially a movie like Treasure Planet with the CGI. Same with Atlantis too. Yeah. CGI, I think that would look amazing.
It will be No, they can step it up a notch now. What else do you got?
Free Guy.
Okay, this is another one that I left off my list. I think this is one where I will watch it. I will either watch it if someone asks me and I have nothing better to do, or I will watch it at home. I don't know if I'll watch this in theaters. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I just think it's just gonna be like your typical Ryan Reynolds comedy where I'm gonna laugh my ass off, you know?
Yep. That's exactly my thought. Honestly, I think that if in any other year, this should be higher on my list, but it comes out around Ghostbusters, Jungle Cruise, Morbius, like within the same couple weeks.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna go see all those movies in theater at the same time, so.
Between Morbius, Jungle Cruise, Ghostbusters, and Free Guy.
I mean, when you like, it's just like it's not like this big blockbuster. It's just a comedy.
Yeah.
So like comedy, like I could wait to see it at home. Like if it's a big blockbuster, like all these other movies, like I gotta go see it in theaters. But this I could wait till I'm home.
It's an interesting concept. I think it's like a twist on the whole video game movie.
Yep.
Also, it's funny. I'm not a huge fan of Fortnite, not because of the actual game itself. Just because, it's a time drain, and I've seen people just spend holy god amounts of time on that thing. But, now Star Wars canon, apparently, but regardless. So I think it's funny that they're playing off of that, and then I think Ryan Reynolds is the perfect person to play off of that. Okay, the next one I have on mine is New Mutants, which is finally coming out.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't put that on my list, even though I'm a big Marvel guy. Mostly because it's like a full-on horror movie, and I'm not really. I really don't care for horror movies that much, and also, it's not going to tie in the MCU because Disney just bought Fox, so all mutants and stuff like that.
Here's what I'm interested to see. It doesn't officially tie into the MCU. But it also doesn't officially tie into
the old X-Men.
Yes. So is this a sort of door to see if people will be interested in younger mutants? Like, will this eventually be retconned in the MCU after they introduce the X-Men?
Maybe they're just like experimenting with it to see what audience thinks and likes about it. That's
my thought. They also let the director. The reason it originally didn't get released was obviously the Disney Fox deal, but also Fox kept making the director reshoot the movie. But when Disney bought it, they said, "Just go back to the original. That one was good. We don't need anything else." Which I think, in most cases, if you have one director running it or one or two directors running it, it's better. So I'm interested to see that. But I'm on the same boat as you. I am not a horror fan. So this movie doesn't amazingly appeal to me, but the fact
it's a Marvel movie.
It's a Marvel movie.
Watch.
I gotta watch it.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it in theaters though. No. But
mainly because I don't want to scream at the top of my lungs. I'd be sitting there, and that would be embarrassing. What else you got?
Another one. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard.
I totally forgot. Why is that getting a sequel? Like I liked it.
Yeah, I don't know, but like. I think it's just gonna be just like another funny one, you know. Yeah. I don't know if Ryan Reynolds is gonna be in it too, or if it's just gonna be a spin-off with Samuel L. Jackson.
I think it's Ryan Reynolds gets hired to protect Selma. Samuel Jackson's wife.
Yeah, I forget her last name. It's Hayek or something like that. Yep. Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek.
Yeah, I feel like they have those three in it again. I think that'd be a funny dynamic because I feel like, especially Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson, I think them bantering back and forth was great.
It's hysterical. But that movie came out 2 or 3 years ago.
2017.
Okay, that feels like longer.
Mm-hmm.
That is a weird movie.
Yeah, I was super surprised.
A lot of weird sequels coming out this year.
I was super surprised to see that it was a sequel. I felt that it was just like a one and done movie.
Yep.
But hey, I'm not gonna mind. It's just a funny movie. You know, I'm just watch a movie just to have a laugh.
My next one is another one that I thought was a one and done, and I'm happy. And I don't think you've seen the first one. This is Death on the Nile. It's the sequel to Murder on the Orient Express, which is, for those of you who are really, really big into murder mystery literature, it's Hercule Poirot, who's an Agatha Christie character. He's got a big mustache, and he's I have a better job. But the original, the Murder on the Orient Express, is with Kenneth Branagh. My brain is dead. I think that he directed the first one, and some of the shots in it are fantastic, like really good. I recommend you watch that because some of the shots are great. The movie is a great murder mystery. It's a little bit predictable, but I don't really mind. And I didn't expect to get a sequel, but it is, and it's going to be another murder mystery. And they usually do good ensemble casts, like the last one had Josh Gad and Daisy Ridley and Willem Dafoe and everything. So I think they're going to get another cool ensemble cast. So I'm excited for that because I like the murder mysteries. I think that it'll be cool directed, and I can't wait to see who gets killed. But
yeah, I never seen those movies, but I'm a big murder mystery guy, so I'll probably end up checking them out if I ever come around with the time. But yeah, no, it definitely sounds pretty cool.
That's another one that came out in 2017 as well. That's another one that I didn't think was getting a sequel. And looking before we did the podcast, we looked over what movies are coming out this year and blah blah blah. That's another one where I'm like, oh, it's a sequel that I didn't realize. Another movie. This is definitely not on my anticipated, and I don't think it's on your anticipated, but I'm not going to speak for you. The Minions movie is getting a sequel that's a prequel that's just Despicable Me. I guess they did make like a heck of a bajillion dollars, and the merchandise sells like hotcakes.
Well, and also the end of Minions, they just introduced Gru. So I feel like they're just gonna. I don't know if they did that to set up a sequel, or they just did that just to tease it, and then they're realizing how popular it was. They're like, hey, let's make a sequel.
That is 100% money based. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's bad.
Oh, I'm gonna watch it. So
it will probably. I'm not gonna lie to you. It will probably be pretty bad.
Hey, I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, franchise is bigger than I expect. What are we? 5 movies in?
This will be the 5th one. Yeah, there's 3 Despicable Me's, then the 1 Minions. Now that we're gonna get the second.
I love the first Despicable Me. The second one's okay. The third one's pretty good. But the first one's just really good. Mm-hmm. I remember watching that as a kid, and I love that. Okay, to be clear, that's not on our most anticipated movies of 2020. Just want to make that perfectly clear.
But it could be surprising. You never know.
Could be surprising. It was.
I mean, you gotta love just seeing the Minions. So.
Yeah, except sometimes it's just like.
Especially my mom. My mom is obsessed. That's like her favorite thing in the world. Oh, besides like Mickey and Minnie Mouse, but she's obsessed with Minions. For me, it's honestly not that they're bad. It's just the oversaturation of whenever one of those movies comes out, it's everything. You know what I mean? You go to the grocery market, and when the Minions movie came out, you went to the grocery store, and with the bananas, there was a packet of stickers to make your banana into Steve. I was like, I just want a banana. Banana.
Exactly. Regardless, I'm not going to go on a tangent, but it's just the amount of just freaking merchandising on those movies.
Well, I got.
What do you got for next?
I only got 1 left on my honorable mentions. How many do you got?
I got 2.
You got 2. All right. Well, mine is Kingsman 3.
Ah, yes.
Is that on yours?
I do not have that on mine.
Ooh.
Because we only chose 10 each, I think. Did you choose?
I have 9 on mine.
Perfect. I maxed out at 10. This barely made the cut for a specific reason, but I'll let you say why this is on your most anticipated.
Well, it's just that the first one was amazing. I absolutely love that one. Second one was good, not as good as the first one, but still just as good for the most part. And I'm just a huge fan of the way they do their fight scenes.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing about this movie that I like, especially in the first one during the church scene. I think that's like out of movie, like every single movie, that's like one of my favorite fight scenes to watch. I think just the way they do it is super cool and unique. You know, there's no other movie that does fight scenes like it.
Here's my thought on the Kingsman movie, and I think this looks like it's going to be the best out of all of them, because Ray Fiennes is like his mentor, and he's great in everything.
Isn't like in World War I or II?
It's World War I believe, and it looks cool, and I like that time period piece. I like the kind of sort of, especially British time period pieces in World War I and II. They're usually very good, and I'm interested to see this take on it. The reason I liked the first one a lot, the first Kingsman, I thought that it was a good spy movie that got an R rating. The second one I have a problem with. There are parts I like. You know that I almost constantly have Country Road stuck in my head with a Scottish accent.
That's the best part of the movie.
Oh, 100%. And I like that part. And it is, and I'm not kidding when I say like every couple days I end up singing that stupid song. But I think that was, the first one was they had a good spy movie and then they got an R rating. So then they added in the violence and stuff. I think the second one, they got an R rating and then wrote a plot around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which wasn't bad. There were some good scenes. But it was clearly, I think from the beginning, they were like, we're going to have a bunch of people bleed from the eyes of explode. We're going to have someone in a meat grinder. And I felt like a lot of the stuff was just them trying to get to those things. Like they realized that they were really good at fight scenes. So they were just trying to write a plot that would get them a fight scene. Yeah. Which is why I didn't like it as much as the first one.
Well, I didn't care about the villain as much.
Yeah. No, she was kind of...
But, no, I don't know. I just enjoy him.
It's enjoyable.
I just enjoy him.
For me, I'm not a huge, don't get me wrong, I love action movies. I don't mind the violence in action movies. The kind of gratuitous violence that's just kind of not like the gross violence.
Yeah.
That's not for any reason. Like, I don't mind if it's like gross violence. Like, I love Logan so much.
Logan, Punisher too.
Oh my, and some of that is gross violence, but in a more realistic and kind of dirty sense where you're like, oh, it's taking a toll on them. But Kingsman 2, like, they put a guy in a meat blender, and then they're like, and I'm like, you just put a guy in a meat blender!
When they're just playing that, I forget what music it was, but it's just like,
oh yeah,
not like music you'd be playing.
No, it's Elton John, I think.
Yeah,
he kicks some guy in the face. I have to say, that Elton John has had to have a great sense of humor to be like, you're gonna be you're gonna be in one of your weird 80s costumes. And also, you're gonna kick someone in the face with like a huge boot. It's the fact that guy signed on for that just is good humor. But I'm moderately excited for the Kingsman. But
you think that's why what's his name was casted as Elton John in the movie Rocketman, because they're in the movie together?
I think they met on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, probably
that kind of helped him out.
Definitely, because I mean, I saw parts of that.
He did a great job as Elton John. He did a great job.
And some of the songs, I will have to say, I'm not a huge musical guy, and I'm not. I honestly wasn't.
He sang it himself too.
Yeah, and they're like different versions, which are like. But okay, back to I have two more, and I'll go super briefly. Bloodshot. It's based on Valiant Comics. It's the Vin Diesel one. I think you have you seen the trailer for this?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer. Yep.
It looks like a 2000s movie. It looks like, specifically, it looks like a 2000s Vin Diesel movie. I do like the twist on where they can virtual reality program him. The twist on that, like, it's a man seeking vengeance and hunting down who hurt him. Kind of like Taken and most of Liam Neeson's movies.
I will find
you. Yeah, exactly. No, like most of Liam, and I love doing.
Well, that's basically like the X-Men Origin Wolverine.
Yeah, no, it's they're going down to find someone who. I do like the twist on that is it's him thinking he's hunting down the person who killed him, but really it's them programming a backstory to him. So I'm interested in what they see to do with that. I'm interested to see the CGI looks cool. I'm not gonna lie, the CGI first trailer I was like meh. But when he gets like the gunshot and then it just like rebuilds his face back together, I'm like that's kind of cool. It will be just a fun watch. And I'm just interested to see what it is. My last one, Quiet Place 2.
Yeah, I think that would have been on my list too. If I've seen the first one, which I haven't, especially you have John Krasinski.
You cannot lose with John Krasinski.
You can't. That guy is amazing, and
should be Mr. Fantastic. For anyone listening to this, John Krasinski should be Mr. Fantastic.
He will.
He will be Mr. Fantastic.
He will be Mr. Fantastic.
We, us two people sitting in a room.
Well, Marvel was just talking to Emily Blunt.
I know.
And speculation to make her Invisible Woman, and then have John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic.
I would love that. Okay. But I think the Quiet Place 2 trailer came out. It looks well written. Everyone in it looks great. The first one I saw, not gonna lie to you, I don't like scary stuff. I saw it in bits and pieces because I kept having to stop it. I was like watching it and it was like 1 a.m. I was like, I'm gonna have to take a break for a little bit and then watch it progressively. I think that this one is going to be, it looks like it's gonna be just as good as the first. I'm excited because he co-wrote it, I think. He wrote the first one.
Yeah.
Or co-wrote the first one. And he directed the last one. And I think he's directing this one, but I'm not 100% sure. But I think he is talented, and I'm excited to see what he does. And I think Emily Blunt, who is the main character in Quiet Place 2, not him. Spoiler, he dies at the end of Quiet Place 1, or halfway through. But she's the main character in this one, and I'm excited to see what she does because she is also very, very good. But that is the most anticipated movies of 2020, and by God, there are a lot of them. Holy crap.
So then that just leads us off to the top 3 Disney Plus series.
Yeah, holy crap. We could go into all the TV shows that are coming out next year, but that would be...
You've already been talking too long.
Holy mother of God. There's so much television. If you think there are a lot of movies coming out, wait till you see just the amount of crap that's coming out this year.
Consumers are king.
Consumers control... Yeah, no. This is... The streaming services are really... Streaming wars are really picking up. Okay, so top 3. You guys can probably, by anything we've talked about, guess what our top 3 Disney Plus things are. Clone Wars comes out soon. Super excited. I know you're rewatching the Clone Wars.
Yeah, I'm currently on season 3 now.
Yep.
Before the new season, every time like a new season comes out or a new movie of a big franchise, I always feel like I just gotta rewatch it all before it comes out.
Yep. Second, another little thing about us. I know your favorite Star Wars character is Ahsoka.
Yep, Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka is in my top 2 or 3 favorite Star Wars characters. And
she, the only place you see her is in the animated and a little bit in Rebels.
And yeah, I loved her in the Rebels. But I think this season's going to be mostly about Ahsoka and her journey from Jedi to the Grey Jedi.
Yep.
And I cannot wait to see
it. And hopefully it does lead up to seeing her in a live action.
Oh my God. I want her to be in season 2 of Mando.
That would be amazing.
So, go out in the outer regions, trying to find Baby Yoda. Boom, live action Ahsoka.
To be honest, I think it would be sick if they casted the same girl that does her voice. Because when it showed the cosplay of her in Ahsoka, she looks so good.
Exactly like it. It's so good.
And it'll be the same voice, too.
And she's so fantastic. I mean, worst comes to worst, what they could do is do what they did with Darth Maul in the end of Solo, where they got a different actor, but then they got the Clone Wars voice actor to dub all the lines over.
Oh.
Which would be strange if she was a main character. But regardless. Then the other 2 are understandably Falcon and Winter Soldier coming out in August. Yeah, they bumped it up
August now.
And then WandaVision, which comes out in
November, I think.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
I think Falcon and Winter Soldier will be... You're a huge Cap fan.
Captain America is my idol.
Yep.
I don't think there's any human being, fictional or real, that could take his place in my heart.
I am also a enormous Captain America fan, and I am just excited to see what they do with this franchise, because I think that Anthony Mackie and Falcon and Bucky are fantastic, and I'm super excited to see what they do now that Chris Evans and Steve Rogers are done. I'm excited to see how they pass this on.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they'll even give him old Cap a cameo and all that, or just talking to because apparently the plot is supposed to be the government not wanting Sam. Yeah. So I wonder if Sam has a conversation with Cap I think you made the wrong choice. I don't think anyone could replace Captain America, or and then Captain America giving his like good motivational speech to him or something like that. I like even just like a small 5-minute moment with Captain America. I'll cry.
It'd be awesome. No, you're not wrong. I'll be right there with you. But and then the last one is WandaVision, which is apparently now the biggest thing in the MCU.
In the MCU, yeah.
Bigger than Endgame, allegedly.
Yep.
It's crazy. I have a theory that they're going to do, for anyone who reads comics, there's the House of M storyline, which is, they can't do it because they don't have the X-Men. But in that storyline, Wanda goes crazy and rewrites the Marvel Universe. And I have a theory, in that one she rewrites it with the mutants, but I have a feeling that someone's going to be manipulating her, where she thinks she's in this perfect life with Vision. At the end, she realizes that she isn't, and then just destroys.
Goes crazy.
Yep, goes bonkers, leads into Doctor Strange.
Yeah, because it's supposed to go straight into it, and Multiverse of Madness, just the title alone.
Oh, come on, yeah.
And they actually just released, like, a little description of it, too. Yeah. And apparently it says, like, once a friend turned foe.
Yep.
So, I don't know if they're talking about his...
Mordo.
Yeah, I don't know if they're talking about him or maybe even Wanda.
The thing is, they just did the other day officially release that Mordo will be in it. Mm-hmm. They didn't say how much. I love that guy.
Well, especially with the post-credit scene in the last one, I don't think he'll have a small part. I think he'll be a pretty significant role.
My thought is they might save him for later.
Maybe. Well, he's definitely going to make a big appearance.
He's also a huge actor. Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Mm-hmm.
I love how I can't say any of the really basic names, but I know Chiwetel Ejiofor. Like, it's like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just the dumb stuff you remember. But it's he's a fantastic actor, and I think I wouldn't mind if in this they're fixing the multiverse and he's slowly just building up power. Like Doctor Strange 3 or 4, he comes back with like the power of like hundreds of wizards and the Dark Dimension and all that shit, and it's like, I'm destroying everything you love.
And it'd also be cool to do that too, because there are some movies where fans are disappointed that they kill off a potential good villain after one movie, and he gets built up from even just being a friend of his in the first one, then building him up again in the second one a little bit, and then making a bigger, really like more like a Loki villain.
Bingo. I think
he's not the big. He's not. It doesn't end up as the big bad like Thanos, but he's a villain that you see throughout multiple
ones, movies. No, I think you're right. I think that they could do exactly with Loki, where they might even have to go to him for help in this one. Just progressively build him up. He brings back Dormammu, because they're not going to just get rid of Dormammu.
Yeah, well, they're also saying how in Doctor Strange he's supposed to be finding a way to bring back the Infinity Stones, because that was the only thing keeping Dormammu away, you know? But that's interesting. But like back to WandaVision though.
Yep, sorry.
I think there's also another big speculation that she is going to lead up to Doctor Doom too, because apparently Doctor Doom's mom is she's supposed to train her to become the Scarlet Witch. And I think they're gonna go to the Salem witch trials too, and that's where she meets her, I believe. Okay. Like I've been seeing some stuff about that, because I heard that they were gonna do some stuff with the Salem witch trials, and
like time travel.
Yes, something like that, or just like, or when she goes in
the mind or
something. Maybe it's not even like she's actually there.
Yeah.
But apparently there's rumors about going back there, and I think that's where, like, she would be able to meet her, and she teaches her
all this stuff.
Yeah, so she becomes the official Scarlet Witch, because she's...
Also, that might mean that Doctor Doom has magic, which would be cool, because he could meld technology with magic, and then he would be able to fight all the Avengers.
That makes him even bigger.
Yeah, actually, I didn't think that.
Maybe that's how he becomes the... What's he called? God Doom.
Oh, God Doom.
God Doom.
Oh, yeah, in Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe that's also how he becomes that.
That would make sense, actually. That's what happens in some of the comics. I'm super excited for that. I think that will be a big...
Especially, I think she'll finally unlock her true potential, because she's such a powerful character, and we haven't seen it yet. Like the most we seen it was in Endgame when she was fighting Thanos. Yeah. But that's still not even close to her potential.
Also, don't know if they'll bring Vision. I know Paul Bettany's in this. I'm assuming he's some sort of hallucination
Yeah,
or
she's
manifestation.
in her mind, and then when she realized, because she's supposed to be like a ideal life, like he never died, and she has a family with him and all
like
that.
in the 50s.
Yeah, so like, because I think someone just put her.
Yeah.
Like someone's like playing with her mind.
I heard someone say it's a nightmare, like the Doctor Strange villain Nightmare. She's like stuck in a dream state. But the question is, if she unlocks her powers and she explodes and goes crazy, will she bring Vision back to life? If she's at full power, and she can rewrite the universe, they're not going to sacrifice Paul Bettany because he's a great character, and they kind of need him for the wand to...
Especially after, like, Vision was such a powerful character in, like, Age of Ultron and Civil War, but then in Infinity War, he wasn't so powerful. But that's also because he was injured the entire time.
And they couldn't have him just show up and blow everything out.
Yeah.
It's like the Superman complex.
So, like, I think I think that they might think about trying to bring him back within, like, those reasons, especially if he could be a good help for the next big crossover movie.
Yeah, I think you're right. I am excited to see everyone in that movie, and I'm excited to see what they do with the Disney Plus another time in, because I think that's a new thing.
Plus, we got so many other Disney Plus, but those are the only ones.
Those are the big ones
in 2020.
I was laughing. Have you seen the trailer? Just total side note for like 2 seconds. Have you seen the trailer for the Timmy Failure? Mistakes Were Made.
I did not.
Highly recommend watching that trailer. It's about a kid who runs a detective agency, but his name is Timmy Failure, and he's like, it's winning awards. It's a Disney Plus film, and it's like winning awards.
Like animated or live action?
No, live action. And he lives in like Portland, Oregon, and he has his co-detective is a polar bear, and he like goes around on a Segway, and he loses his mother's Segway, and that's like the whole movie is him and this polar bear.
It's a movie, not a series.
Yeah, it's like winning like film critic awards.
Do you know if it's released already?
No, I think it comes out soon. Maybe it just got released. I get it, but I saw it the other day, and I was like, first of all, I was like,
maybe it's coming out with all the new February releases.
I guess it might have just come out. Honestly, I gotta check. But that is it for the show today. I think this episode will probably be around 2 hours. Most of our episodes won't be this long. I just hit the table, so sorry if there's a whack.
Wow, was it really 2 hours?
Yeah, we're currently at like an hour and 46 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, that is.
This is the pilot episode, obviously.
Yeah.
So just a touch of what we're gonna do. Most of our episodes will be talking about a topic of the week. Next week's topic of the week will be a review of Birds of Prey.
Yep.
And then
it's coming out the 5th, I think.
Yeah, 5th to the 7th.
I think it's the 5th. I think.
What the hell?
Maybe not. Whatever the Friday is.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I think it's the 7th then.
It's coming out. We'll probably see it on this. Do we have any?
Yeah, it's gonna be the 7th.
We can probably see it the 6th. Go Thursday one. Regardless, we're gonna talk about that. We'll talk about the future of the DC, Worlds of DC or whatever they've named it.
Or whatever they're gonna.
To see if this ties in, and then do kind of at the beginning of most episodes we'll have a little news bite of the week. This week we decided to sacrifice that because we'd be going on for a while.
Yeah.
A lot of trailers are coming out. Next week we might talk about some trailers. But that is all we got. So thank you. If you've stuck around this long, you get a cookie or something. Go buy yourself a cookie. I can't buy you a cookie. I'm not there.
Yeah. But I mean, until next week.
Yeah. Buy us a cookie. Actually, send us a cookie. We'll get a P.O. box.
Yeah, we'll post a
picture.
See
you can send us cookies. That's every week at the end of every episode. We'll go, please send us food. We're starving.
To all our friends that want to listen to this.
For all our friends for all the people that we go, listen to this. We put earbuds in their ears, strap them to a chair for 2 hours and go, listen to this, you crazy bastard.
If they try to move, we'll shock them.
Yeah, we'll shock them. We'll take a 9-volt battery connected to a fork and just poke them. Okay, so that is the Blip podcast. Someone is interested in writing a theme for us. So
nice outro music?
Intro and outro music.
Okay.
So we might have a theme. Check us out.
To Liam?
Yeah. Yeah, the only person we know that can write music. I'm trying to think. Follow us on the Blip Pod on Instagram. That I'm going to check the official handle. The Blip Pod on Instagram. It is at the Blip Pod, all one word. And then we are on Twitter as well under the same thing.
Yeah, there's not much content there right now because
Nope.
this is our first episode,
Yep.
but we'll be posting a lot more frequently.
There's a fantastic...
Now that we finally kicked off.
Woo! Yeah, we
Yeah.
finally get this started. There's a fantastic video of us screaming Star Wars quotes at each other.
Yep, while we were supposed to be doing homework, but
Yep, and bingo.
we saw a whiteboard and we had to play around.
Oh my god. Come on. Whiteboard and free markers. You can't beat it. So thank you for listening. Check us out on all the stuff. This will be on YouTube. This will be on Spotify. And I think Apple Podcasts if I can get the clearance. We haven't said the F-bomb. So I think we're fine. We don't have to listen as explicit. But that'll be. Okay. I am Nolan.
And I am Joey.
And we have just wasted 2 hours of your time. Good night. 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 Good night.